Sensory processing. Sensory receptor organs act as filters of the environment. They detect and respond to some events but not others. Receptor cells are specialized cells that respond to a particular energy or substance in the internal or external environment and converts this energy into a change in the electrical potential across its membrane. An adequate stimulus is the type of stimulus for which a given sensory organ is particularly adapted. Layers of the skin include the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. In the epidermis are free nerve endings that sense pain and temperature, Merkel's discs, which sense fine touch, Meissner's corpuscles, which sense light touch, and hair follicle receptors that just percept touch. And then the hypodermis contains Pacinian or lamellated corpuscles, which sense vibration and pressure, and Ruffini's endings, which sense stretch. Specific nerve energies are, that's the doctrine that the receptors and neural channels for the different senses are independent and operate in their own special ways and can produce only one particular sensation each. Labeled lines is the concept that each nerve input to the brain reports only a particular type of information. Sensory transduction is the process in which a receptor cell converts the energy in a stimulus into a change in the electrical potential across the membrane. Receptor potentials, also called generator potentials, is a local change in the resting potential of a receptor cell that mediates between the impact of stimuli and the initiation of action potentials. Pacinian corpuscles are huge, and they are also called lamellated corpuscles. It is a skin receptor cell that detects vibration. Threshold is the stimulus intensity that is just adequate enough to trigger an action potential. The sequence of excitatory events is: first step is mechanical stimulation that deforms the corpuscle. Second is the deformation of the corpuscle stretches to the tip of the axon. Third is the stretching of the axon opens mechanically gated ion channels in the membrane, allowing positively charged ions to enter. And fourth is when the receptor potential reaches threshold amplitude, the axon produces one or more action potentials. The nerve membrane at rest has sodium outside of the cell with closed ion channels. Coding is the rules by which action potentials in a sensory system reflect a physical stimulus. Range fractionation is a hypothesis of stimulus intensity perception, stating that a wide range of intensity values can be encoded by a group of cells, each of which is a specialist for a particular range of stimulus intensities. Somatosensory refers to the body sensation, particularly touch and pain sensations, and the intensity coding figure 8.6 has response rates versus stimulus intensity for 3 neurons with different thresholds. Each of the 3 neuron cells represented here has a different threshold, low, medium, or high, and thus a different response to the stimuli. Each cell varies its response over a fraction of the total range of stimulus intensities. And then stimulation of responses for 3 neurons. Although none of these nerve cells can respond faster than 150 times per second, the sum of all 3 can vary in response rate from 0 to 450 action potentials per second, accurately indicating the intensity of the stimulus, an example of range fractionation.